It began like any other episode of Live with Kelly and Mark. The camera panned across a sea of clapping audience members, the signature peppy music danced through speakers, and Kelly Ripa, morning show royalty and co-host of over 2 decades, sauntered onto the set in yet another chic outfit, this time, a crisp white blouse with just the right amount of structure. Beside her, Mark Consuelos beamed in his usual warm husband support mode. And then it happened. Bras. Yes, bras, those elasticized, over-engineered contraptions of undergarment lore. That morning, Kelly dared to talk about them. Whether it was about underwire woes, the mystery of disappearing straps, or simply the betrayal of a bralette in a world that demands support, Kelly went there. And, as it turns out, not all viewers were thrilled. But instead of smoothing things over with a PR-polished apology or a gentle, let's move on, Ripa did what Ripa does best. She clapped back. "Shut it," she declared, addressing the vocal minority who apparently believed daytime TV should be a bra-free zone, not in the literal sense, of course, but in polite discussion. "Shut it," she repeated with the flair of a woman who's worn every kind of bra under fluorescent studio lights and lived to tell the tale. "If I want to talk about bras on my show, I will." Bravio, Kelly. Now, let's take a step back and assess the situation. In a world where morning television often oscillates between cooking demos and celebrity interviews, Kelly's off-the-cuff authenticity has always been her secret sauce. She doesn't just host a show, she invites viewers into her home, the way you'd invite a friend in for coffee and then promptly launch into a monologue about how your sports bra almost dislocated your shoulder at Pilates. So, what's the real issue here? Is it that Kelly Ripa talks about bras, or that she talks about them without apologizing for making certain viewers uncomfortable? Because let's be honest, if a male host spent 10 minutes talking about boxers riding up during a jog, it would likely be met with chuckles and relatability. But bras? Oh no, that's too real. The bra is political. There's an unspoken rule that some topics, especially those involving women's bodies, are still taboo, even in 2025. We pretend we've progressed, that gender equality is sewn into every fiber of public life. But then a celebrity dares to utter "underwire" on national television, and suddenly there's a digital pitchfork mob in the YouTube comments. Kelly's bra talk was not just a casual tangent, it was a quiet rebellion. When she addresses the daily experience of wearing a bra, discomfort, fashion challenges, or the existential crisis of matching bras to different fabrics, she is validating the lived experiences of millions. She's saying, hey, this is normal. This is worth talking about. And when critics tell her to leave it out, what they're really saying is, keep that private. Keep your body private. Keep your experience palatable. To which she now famously replied, shut it. Why the backlash? There's a strange expectation that morning show hosts, especially women, must remain perpetually pleasant and non-threatening. They can joke, but not too raunchily. They can share, but not overshare. They must strike the impossible balance between relatable and pristine. So when Kelly Ripa dives into conversations that involve bodily realities, be it menopause, intimacy, or undergarments, it unsettles those who prefer their TV hosts to be avatars of grace rather than truth. But it's 2025. And Kelly Ripa is not here for delicate sensibilities. She's here to talk about the fact that strapless bras never stay up, that nude tones are never actually nude unless you're a mannequin, and that yes, she will keep talking about it, thank you very much. A lesson in confidence. There's something undeniably refreshing about a woman with a live microphone, a national platform, and zero fear of public judgment. It's easy to forget that Kelly Ripa has spent over 2 decades on television, under the public eye, balancing charm with candor. She knows how the media works. She knows what sells. And yet, she chose to confront this critique, not by softening her edges, but by sharpening them. Shut it wasn't just a retort. It was a statement of ownership. A reminder that women don't need permission to speak about their own bodies, especially not from viewers who are uncomfortable with reality. The bigger picture. The minor scandal, if you can call it that, sparked an online conversation. Fans took to social media to defend Kelly, with hashtags like #Bragate and #TeamRipa trending briefly. Others shared their own undergarment horror stories. A few even confessed they look forward to her off-topic tangents because they make the show feel like a safe space, like catching up with a friend who just happens to have a glam squad. It's not really about bras, in the end. It's about the kind of world we want to live in. One where women can speak freely and be heard without a filter. Where the mundane isn't dismissed just because it's feminine. Where a morning talk show doesn't have to pretend that the real lives of half the population are inappropriate for public discussion. Final thoughts. Strap in, folks. Kelly Ripa's declaration might have ruffled some sensibilities, but it also struck a chord. In an age where authenticity is currency, she remains one of the richest personalities on television, not because she says what people want to hear, but because she says what people need to hear. So next time she brings up bras, whether it's a triumph, a tragedy, or a wardrobe malfunction in the green room, remember, you're not just witnessing a talk show moment. You're witnessing a cultural shift, one elastic strap at a time. And if that makes you uncomfortable, well, in the words of the Queen herself, shut it. Would you like a shorter version for social media or a satirical take instead?